Hello and welcome to episode 172 of the Nintendo Fun Club podcast. This is a podcast about Nintendo and about fun. I'm Ryan, and joining me, as always, is John.
Hey, what's up, Ryan?
Hey, just enjoying the early morning.
Yeah. And now are you on daylight savings time over there or what?
Oh yeah, I guess so.
We got an hour this morning.
We got an hour. Okay, so that makes me feel a little better.
Right. Did I wake you up this morning when I was like, "Hey, let's do a podcast"?
So, I don't know. It's fine. Anyways, we are here to talk about some cool Nintendo stuff. There was a Smash Direct because there is always a Smash Direct. Mm-hmm. And also, two of my favorite games of all time have come to Switch, and I've been playing both of them a ton. So we will talk about those and some other stuff. So let's just get going with the Smash Direct and some thoughts on that. How are you feeling going into this Direct, John?
Excited. I mean, I was excited when they announced it. But for me, it's a little different because I feel like there's so many characters already, and I got my, birthday present early when they announced Simon and Richter, and the Castlevania stuff at the last one. So, there wasn't anything I wanted. You know what I mean? It wasn't. I didn't look at the leak, the fake leaked stuff from a week or two ago. There, but it was all banjo kazooing about and everything, so I don't care about that, and I'm not gonna get real excited about like little system tweaks and stuff like that they talk about in the directs too, either. But I'm still, I still look forward to these directs, and I was excited about it. But I went in with low expectations, not right, because I expected it to be really cool, but I didn't go in there having a list of things they'd better have, otherwise I'm going to be disappointed. So yeah, I was just excited, but low stakes.
Yeah, that's a good way to be. Good approach.
Yeah, I can't do that with everything, but I'm able to do that with Smash Brothers. So
nice. Yeah. We'll keep that in mind, like next E3. Yeah, I was. I mean, it's almost funny, like, oh, there's a Smash Direct coming, like, because of course there is, and
well, not anymore.
Not anymore. This was the last one. Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you. Like, I was just like, I just know I'm buying this game, and it has a ton of stuff in there that I want, and anything else is just icing on the cake.
I mean, the one thing I guess I did kind of expect, and we didn't get as much of as I thought we would, is information about the single player mode. But
we kind of did.
Well, we'll talk about it, but
yeah. I mean, the biggest thing I was hoping for, again, like I've already decided my Smash mains are going to be Richter and Bayonetta. Like, that's how I'm gonna be rolling in Smash. I'm good on characters. Like, I don't really need any more characters, but like, what's cool about getting new characters is getting like the new stages and the new music and all of those like aesthetic elements as well. So I'm pretty much kind of whatever with like new characters going forward. So yeah, I was just really hoping for some sweet, silly videos and a whole bunch of Easter eggs, and definitely got those. So I read about everything that was announced like on Twitter, and then I like went home and watched it after work. And I gotta say, like, when I first saw like the characters who were revealed, they like weren't super exciting, but then once you see them in the context of the Direct, they were really fun and seem like good additions. So let's just go ahead and get in and talk about the characters. We have Ken, which is probably the least unexpected addition.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an Echo Fighter for Ryu, and that totally makes sense. He's got like a slightly different moveset, just like he does in the Street Fighter games. Cool.
Very cool. I mean, once they announced the whole Echo Fighter concept, it's like, if Ken is not in the game, there's something really wrong here. Like, it would be super weird. Not really wrong, but it would just be like, well, how would you not? I mean, I can't think of two characters that embody the concept of an Echo Fighter more than those two. Like, they've been doing Echo Fighter since 1991 or whatever. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to have Ken. So that's cool.
I mean, and there was that like slight dig on Luigi from Sakurai in that part where he was like, Luigi is the kind of the original Echo Fighter.
Oh. Yeah.
Because Luigi will always be in Mario's shadow.
Yeah, but he's taller and he jumps higher and he's more scared and stuff. Whereas, like,
he's more scared. That's a good personality trait.
But Ken and Ryu, I mean, I guess their personalities are different because Ken is supposed to be like arrogant and American and stuff. But like, I don't know. It's just, there's not much difference between those two characters. Do you like one in red?
Well, he's a family man, and Ryu is a wanderer.
Ken's a family man?
Ken's a family man.
Oh,
don't you remember in Street Fighter 2? Like his wife in the dress comes like flying at him.
No, I don't remember. I never.
He always says, "Go home and be a family man." When he wins, yeah.
Okay.
You need to bust out that Street Fighter Anniversary collection.
I guess I do. Yeah. I just always play as Ryu and not Ken. So
yeah, same.
Okay.
But actually, I rarely play as any of those characters anymore, except Sakura in Street Fighter Alpha 2. But neither here nor there. The other character announced, which isn't it's never super exciting when a Pokemon gets announced, I feel. I don't know, and I like Pokemon, but I don't get excited about those characters being announced. So I was kind of whatever when I read that Incineroar was going to be like the quote unquote final character announced. It felt like a weird note to end on. But then actually after watching the video and seeing his moveset, he's so cool. Like, because he has like this very like pro wrestling style. It's like but with like fire, you could almost say it's fire pro wrestling. But yeah, his moves are just like ridiculous and like great, like German suplexes and all kinds of stuff. And it's just kind of hilarious seeing this like giant fire cat man wrestling. Like, yeah, it's perfect.
He's cool. I spent a lot of time using his Darkest Lariat in the Pokemon game. So, I saw him pull out that lariat in the trailer, and Litten was my starter.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I spent some time with Incineroar. So like, it's, I'm not like super excited about it or anything, but I do think it was he looks like a fun character. And, if like of all the Pokemon, Incineroar is probably the one I've used the most and like know the best, even though I don't, know him or care about him all that much. But yeah, for me specifically, it's like I don't know very much about very many Pokemon, but I have spent some time with Incineroar, so
yeah,
it works for me. It's cool, and I knew my son would be excited too because kind of same for him, so it's cool.
Yeah, like, and I didn't really think about this until that character was announced, but there's not much in the way of like wrestler characters in Smash. There's a lot of like swords, a lot of projectiles, but not a lot of like get in there and do holds and stuff, like close quarters. So I wonder if we'll get Zangief as an Echo Fighter for him. Or someone from pro wrestling, Starman.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That would be cool. I don't know. I don't
that
think
like
so. I think
doesn't
he's
like super make sense, but
no.
I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. So then also I guess the last character that they're working on is Piranha Plant. He's going to be free DLC after the game launches because that character is not done. And so I think that's a really okay strategy. We have like what 72 or 74 characters here. You can, hold one back and give us something to jump into like a few months later. That's totally fine.
Well, can we go out of order and talk about the season pass real quick since we're talking about characters?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they have the whole season pass thing, but like I was trying to do the math in my head and figure this out because it says there's 5 DLC characters coming, and I can't figure out if that includes Piranha Plant or if it doesn't.
No,
it does not. Okay.
No, so there's 6 DLC characters coming.
6. Okay.
5 are part of the season pass.
Okay.
And then Piranha Plant is just free DLC for early adopters.
Okay, so you do still save $5 if you buy the season pass because the season pass 25, and to buy all those characters on their own, I think would be 30 because they're $6 a piece, right? Yeah. So you're saving $5, which is cool. But I was like, oh my god, if Piranha Plant is free for a lot of people, then it's like actually not even you're not even saving, but you would be. I guess you would be. So
yeah,
gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, so Piranha Plant looks super fun. Just goofy, ridiculous, weird, but somehow works in the context of Smash. I like it. I think it's fun. I don't think I will ever play as him or it. But it's going to be a cool fighter to come across in the game.
I have a 15-second anecdote real quick. I'll share because I'm thinking of it now. I was walking out of Aldi yesterday, or the day before, actually. Buying some coffee. I buy my coffee beans at Aldi.
Okay. Do you get Aldi wine?
I don't. No, but I mean,
I've heard good things about Aldi wine.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. But I was getting some coffee beans, and GameStop is right next door to Aldi. So I'm walking out of Aldi, getting into my car, and this guy is getting into his van with his new Smash Brothers Switch like bundle thing, which was
nice.
Cool. Yeah. It was cool. And I was like, oh, I just that just got it or just released today, I think, right? Because I think it was Friday, and it just came out Friday. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah. And then we talked for just a couple seconds about Smash Brothers or whatever, and he was like, and Luigi sucks this time. Then he started talking about all the changes they made to Luigi and stuff, and like all these micro changes. And I was like, whoa. Okay, man, I just wanted to say nice Switch bundle. Like I'm not on your level. Like I can't talk about the micro frame changes to Luigi and the fact that his recovery time is 2 frames longer now or whatever. I mean, I'm just made that up. Yikes. I don't know what he said. Yeah. Because it just went in one, other. But anyway, it was a funny thing. It's like, oh man, here's somebody I can relate to. Nope. No, I can't. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, you never know what Smash fans, you never know what kind of Smash fan they'll be.
But I thought it was a nice omen or like a cool thing to see, like, oh, this guy's, it's the day it came out. And I mean, it makes sense. If you're walking by a GameStop, you'd see somebody buying a new thing from GameStop, but I just thought it was cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I went out yesterday to pick up a copy of Diablo 3 for Lindsay, and so it was sold out at a couple stores. But when I was like going through going to stores and going into the Switch sections, it was cool seeing those Smash bundles out there, and there was that like 10 seconds where I was like, how can I convince myself that this would be a good thing to buy? Yeah. Like, how can I talk myself into this? And I was not able to. But then, like, also at GameStop, they had the Diablo 3 bundle, system bundle that dropped on Friday as well. And then, and I was like, well, I mean, no, I really cannot justify this in any possible way. Even though the boxes look so cool, I love Switch packaging. Like, it's so cool looking.
Sure.
But then it was also cool seeing some of the re-released amiibo back on the shelves from the original Smash line, and then seeing the GameCube controllers back out on the shelves and stuff. that was it was just kind of cool seeing all that stuff like prominently displayed again, because it's smashing season.
That's cool. Glad to hear about quite a few amiibo. I was at Best Buy, and they still have a decent amiibo stock, like, you know, in support, I guess you'd say, or whatever. But Target, and you know, we don't have to get into the whole controversy around the new Target layouts. I think you have those in Denver too, probably, like how Targets have, like, they just like completely redesigned the inside of the store, like where everything is and how it's laid out and stuff.
No,
oh,
no.
they've redesigned like inside both of our Targets, and it's not just like straight aisles and rows anymore. Really, it's like more of a windy, like it almost feels like a department store.
IKEA.
Not like, well, not that
Okay.
not that much of a labyrinth, but
Okay.
it's different, and I, you know, it's whatever. But they don't
Okay.
they have almost no amiibo now, like that I
Mm,
can find.
yeah.
And I would imagine that Targets all over don't have a ton of amiibo these days, which is sad.
No. No. Um, yeah, I mean, man, like shelf space for Nintendo right now is a premium, because you have like they could take over stores basically with everything that there is, like, because 3DS is still boom. There's a lot of 3DS, Switch stuff, obviously. The Labo section is like, that's a good chunk of shelf space right there, and then all the Switch and 3DS accessories.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
a
that's
it's
true.
a it's a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I was really stoked at Best Buy though, because, and we are like so off on a tangent right now.
Yeah. I'm like, well,
But
we're 20% into this Smash news. Like,
yeah. But I actually bought a new amiibo
oh,
yesterday. Lady Palatina.
oh, I saw
Um,
her too.
yeah, I totally missed that one when it originally dropped, and then never saw it again in like the Denver area. And you know, didn't want to pay scalper prices or anything. But yeah, it was just like on the shelf, and I was like, oh, it's an amiibo I don't have, and it's really cool looking. So I totally grabbed it. And
Nice.
that was excited. I'm ready to buy some amiibo again, um, which will be happening next month. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm quite there yet myself, but well, when I don't know when Simon comes out, or they're doing a Simon, right? They have to.
yeah, they are. We haven't seen it yet though,
Okay.
but
And will they have to do a Richter as well? Simon and a Richter?
I hope so. I
Okay.
mean, you never know, like, because with like Bayonetta and Cloud, they did like two outfits for each of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we get a Richter though, that would be too much. I don't even know what I'd do.
Buy it.
Yeah, well, I know that much, and then I'd probably just like be struck dead on the spot. But anyways, yeah. So back to Smash stuff. So the trophies are gone. Trophies are gone. That
Yeah.
hurt. That hurt a bit.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things to do in like single player Smash, is collect the trophies, and then just see them all sitting there on a shelf, just like my amiibo.
Mm.
And yeah, so that's kind of a bummer. And I also like reading the descriptions for each of them. Like, that's just a fun little part of Smash for me, and it has been since Melee. But they're being replaced with spirits, which there is a canon reason for why they are spirits, that we'll get to in a bit here. But the spirits are, I don't. They're basically um, like equipment in an RPG. You basically equip these spirits to your fighter to modify your stats, and the spirits are all based on characters from the game series represented in Smash. So you just have to earn them, and then I'm imagining there'll be like a little description for each one. So it's basically the same as trophies, except they're not like 3D models, which kind of makes sense because that's also probably a lot of time and effort. Well, Sakurai even said like we just don't have the capacity to make however many 3D models for these characters, but we want to include a bunch of characters and then also have them have some sort of like gameplay significance as well. So I think the spirits seem cool. I think they'll serve the same purpose for me, but then also create this like near endless way of combining these spirits to like totally change fighter stats and abilities, and just have like, you can basically just have like an infinite amount of combinations. So like that will also be something fun to play around with as well.
Yeah, I mean, it should be fun. I am not gonna lie, my eyes kind of glazed over a little bit during this part, and just
it was
like,
a lot.
Yeah, you know, like, okay, here's this game that's already like, there's a lot of complexity to it that I don't really understand. And the great thing about Smash is you can play it and have fun. You don't need to understand the complexity of it, but I do think this will be more like it's more easy to understand. Okay, I go into a menu, I equip different abilities and stuff. That's more easy to understand than sort of like trying to learn all the intricacies of a character and how they play and stuff in a fighting game, you know. Yeah. So yeah, it should be pretty good. It's actually probably more approachable, you know, for a general audience and stuff. But at the same time, I was like, so wait, they're just making this game actually now more complex and already like I don't even get it in the first place, you know. But I do think this is something that will, you know, it shouldn't be that complicated to understand, and should be fun to play around with. But you know, yeah, it seems like a great idea. I don't see myself being such a high level player that I'm going to really probably do a ton with this. Like maybe I'll just find a combination I like and stick with it. But then again, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'll play around. I just have a thing, like it's like for me in Mario Kart 8, for instance, like once I found the cart and the wheels I liked, I just stick with them, you know, because when I change them, then it feels weird. And I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I have to have. So, you know, I don't know if I'll change it up a ton or not, but like you said, I mean, just collecting the spirit should be cool too. So
yeah, totally. And the other part of it is you can level all of them up, which is very exciting to me as someone who loves just like grinding in role-playing games and just feeling like filling bars just by playing video games. That I'm a huge fan of that. So yeah, I think that's going to be something that I'll enjoy, and just feeling like every time you play a Smash match, you're you know, you're leveling something up and making some progress. And that also just, again, like there's always going to be something to do in this game. Like you can be you know, not only just like playing with like the absurd amount of characters and like checking out their like stages and moves and everything, but also you can be messing with these combinations and leveling up spirits and stuff just by playing the game. So I think this is really cool. It's gonna be really fun, and it I don't think it's going to be like a factor in like high level play or anything. I think these will be things that are just like turned off, but I think it is more like just for casual fun, like local battles, single player type stuff, and totally cool with that.
Yeah, for sure. I don't understand the World of Light mode though. I guess I'm not supposed to because they didn't reveal too much about it, but that's part of the spirits thing as well. The World of Light. Yeah, I just I mean, I get the map looks really cool, so that's fun.
Oh god, yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and collecting the spirits on the map seems like that will be cool too. But I guess I just like, I don't know what happens when you go into a level on the map. You know, what kind of player? What like, is it going to be like Subspace Emissary, or is it just going to be little Smash matches on the map that you're having, or is it going to be
I
something?
think so. I think it's the latter. Yeah.
That makes sense, but I'm surprised they didn't just say that, you know, if that's what it is.
Well, there's probably something else to it. And I think this mode, like, I don't know. I felt like I understood what it was. Kind of. But I think this is a mode that, like, I think they just want players to just experience on their own. Because there's not much to say about it. Like, it is probably just matches, but the different like some of those combinations of characters that you have to fight to like earn the spirits, I think those are there's some pretty clever stuff happening there. And I was listening to the new NVC podcast at IGN where they were talking about this, and it seems like they've kind of noticed that there's like boss battles, such as the Rathalos from Monster Hunter, and like boss battles against characters that are not playable, and that seems really, really cool to me as well.
Sure.
So I'm excited to fight a boss that's not just a giant hand or like a giant metal Mario or something.
Yeah. I had a student the other day, because obviously they know that I'm into this stuff. So came up to me and was like, "Oh, did you see the Smash Bros. Direct?" Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I saw it. And it was like, I said the same thing to him. Like, I don't really get what the single player mode is. And he was like, "Well, have you played Subspace Emissary?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'd be like, "But I don't think it's like that." And he's like, "Oh yeah," and he's just telling me that it's going to be like Subspace Emissary. And I was like, "Yeah, see, this is a weird thing that they just left it this vague, because I think people are going to go into it with expectations of whatever they think it is, and it does seem like a weird thing. It's a month before the game is coming out, and I don't think obviously the single player mode isn't that important, and that's why why part of the reason they're not saying much about it. But I do think some people will probably be like, "Oh, wait, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. This isn't what I expected." And leaving a whole mode kind of like, well, Mr. Sakurai doesn't want you to know, like wants you to experience it, as a surprise or whatever. It's like, yeah, you're going to probably upset some people, I feel like, unless it's even if it's amazing, just because it's not what they thought it was going to be. So I think that's kind of a weird choice personally. But
yeah, I don't know. I got the vibe that it like wasn't like Subspace Emissary, which I'm cool with, because like I think that mode is cool, but it also like doesn't quite play the way it should. Like it doesn't quite work. Like the Smash controls in the context of a 2D platformer don't like exactly work the way that you'd want. Like, so I'm thinking it's just matches, and I'm pretty cool with that.
I'm absolutely cool with it. But I think you'll find people who aren't, and if you would tell them up front, then that would help. So that's
perhaps. Okay, but more importantly, can we talk about the trailer that revealed this mode at the end of the direct? Because oh my god, what an emotional roller coaster that was. Like,
you mean it was emotional for you to watch every single character from Super Smash Brothers die on screen?
A little bit. And the part that really got me, like, I think it was my favorite parts, my favorite deaths in that were the Wii Fit trainer who just like goes into like a yoga pose and it like accepts her fate. And I felt really sad about the Duck Hunt dog. that one was tough. The big one, the GIF that's been floating around on Twitter, I've seen a bunch, is Sonic reaching for Pikachu.
Oh
man, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That was a lot.
I liked snakes.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of Snake really, but I just showed that box sitting there. I like that.
Yeah, that was great. But then like once they actually like focused on Kirby, that's when like I started getting like legitimately nervous because I was like, no, I don't want to see Kirby die here. And so like it was so cool watching him like outrun those beams and everything. And then it was so sad seeing Kirby at the end of the world.
Yeah, yeah, but he's going to be the one who's going to start the process of retrieving all these spirits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So there's a lot riding on that little
Pink puffball.
pink puffball's. I was going to say shoulders, but he doesn't have shoulders. But there's a lot riding on that little pink puffball. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, like rounded edges.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but that was a really really fun trailer. Um, in in a series of wonderful Smash trailers that we've gotten over the years.
yeah. That was a cool final cinematic,
Yeah,
to end that direct on for sure.
yeah. One other thing, like there's a bunch of we could dive deep into global Smash power now. No. The one other thing I wanted to mention is we got to see a bunch of assist trophies. I've always thought assist trophies are one of the most fun parts of Smash, like these characters that are not quite playable, but they show up in matches to kind of mess with your opponents. They always have pretty fun moves, and it's always just fun to see the assist trophies show up in a match. And the ones that really stood out to me this time is Yuri from Fatal Frame with her camera. I thought was really awesome. Just so that was like a quintessential Smash moment where you're like, how does this even work? I don't know. It's so ridiculous. And then I guess his name is Vince from Art Academy. Yeah. dropping the statues and the sculptures, I guess.
Yeah.
That was
I like the fly and fly swatter from Mario Paint as well. Yes. That one's pretty fun.
Yep.
And then always a shout out for Colonel William F. Guile, who will be showing up as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps since I kind of biffed on the Street Fighter trivia earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do know Guile's full name, Colonel William F. Guile. So
that's good. That's good. Maybe we'll see his buddy Charlie as well.
Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, they should have Echo Fighters for assist trophies and have Guile from the Street Fighter movie, and he just comes out and gives a really impassioned speech about whipping Bison's ass.
Yeah,
that would be a great moment in Smash history.
They could do the digitized version from Street Fighter 2, the movie, the game. Is that what
yeah. Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah,
that'd be nice. But then the one that got me, and this was like so ridiculously exciting to me, Akira from Virtua Fighter, and it's him in his like polygonal like VF1 and 2, more so VF2 look. And so what they did here was just brilliant Sakurai deep cut. They have him fighting in front of some like broken pillars from I think it's the Kid Icarus stage. And they had him fighting Zero Suit Samus in her like shorts and blonde ponytail. Well, that's and I think Twitter user Persona pointed this out. Basically, that's an homage to Sarah Bryant's stage and Sarah in Virtua Fighter 2, because she fights in this like in front of there's like broken pillars and stuff, and she's a blonde lady with a ponytail and shorts, and they basically just did an homage to that, and it was so cool to see in action. But yeah, Smash Brothers is so good.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and you know, it's been one of those things like a new Star Wars movie or something where it seems like it's so far off in the distance for so long, you know.
Yeah.
And now it's very close, so it's
extremely
crazy. Yeah, crazy to think we'll be playing it in like 6 weeks.
That is insane.
Maybe less. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually almost 1 month to the day.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right on.
And there's also a new Pokemon game in between
in like
there.
2 weeks, right?
Yeah, which is just a lot. Yeah, so I guess last thing, season pass. How do you feel about that?
Fine. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I'm going to buy it, but it's cool. I mean, to only save $5 is, I don't know. I think I'd rather just buy them $5 at a time, honestly, myself, and spend the extra $5 than pay $25 all at once. I mean, it would be cool to, you know, just pay that once and then get free stuff every once in a while. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. There's so many characters in the game already that it just kind of depends on who they are almost. If I, you know, so we'll see. I think I don't know that I need the pass, but
yeah.
If I have $25 of Switch credit sitting on my Switch the day the pass comes out, well, I guess it's out already.
You
will be out as soon.
Pre-order it now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I still haven't decided if I'm going physical or digital on this one. This is another one of those where I'm super torn, because it feels kind of like Mario Kart 8 or something where I kind of just want it on my Switch, but also like the box art is really good. So I'm a little torn there, but I think I will get the pass. Even if I don't end up like caring about the new characters, I still want like the stages and the music, just to kind of, because you get a stage and some music with each character as well.
That's
like
true.
I want that stuff in my game. So yeah, so I think I'm just gonna get the pass. I think there's something you get for buying the pass too. Like I think is it the Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Me outfit or something. It's something like that I don't care about.
I don't care about that.
But it's like, well, I still want my Smash game to be complete.
Yeah. That would be a driving factor for me. It's just like almost as much as I want to play the characters or whatever it is. I don't want to have, you know, missing levels and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And but I did like how Sakurai was like, only buy this if you have total faith in us.
Yeah.
Like, don't buy it if you're not sure.
Yeah, totally.
Like, which I agree, which should always be your approach to DLC and stuff. But I don't know, with Nintendo DLC, I feel pretty good about it. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna buy it. But I don't know. I need to figure out if I'm buying it physical or digital. But I guess I have a month to decide. That very important, life-changing decision. Okay, so it would not be an episode of Nintendo Fun Club Podcast if we did not talk about some Neo Geo games. So let's talk about some Neo Geo games. The next ones, they were announced thanks to getting this from Japanese Nintendo. Our friend Brian over there. Next batch of Neo Geo games coming. Puzzle Bobble 2, Thrash Rally, Stakes Winner 2, King of the Monsters 2, The Next Thing, Neo Geo Cup 98, Road to the Victory, and most exciting to me, Twinkle Star Sprites.
Yeah, I saw you posting about being excited about Twinkle Star Sprites, and I don't know what that is.
It is. I'm glad you asked. Basically, think about the versus mode in a puzzle game. So I guess like think about it in Puzzle Bobble or Panel de Pon or Puyo Puyo, something like that. Like your split screen puzzle mode game. Okay, are you picturing that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like thinking about how what you do and how you play affects your opponent's game, but you're playing in isolation, but like you're sending junk over to
Yeah.
your opponent's side. Okay.
Okay.
Twinkle Star Sprites is that, except it's a vertical shooter.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting.
It's so cool. It's such a cool game. It's so fun. The art is amazing. And this is a game that has been notoriously rare and expensive. It was a 1996 Neo Geo game. And it has not been it's been re-released. I think there was like a Saturn port in Japan and a PS2 port in Japan, which are last I checked were extremely expensive and cost prohibitive. There was a Neo Geo CD release maybe, and then it finally released on I got to play it for the first time when it released on I don't even think on Steam on PC. And yeah, so I got to play it a few years ago, and I had always like heard about the game and always seen screenshots and like Game Fan and stuff, and always wanted to play it. And then it was just so cost prohibitive to play it, and then it finally came to Steam, and that was awesome. But like, I also don't play games on my PC pretty much ever. That could have been the last PC game I actually bought. And yeah, now it's coming to Switch, and it is again one of those games that is just a perfect fit for Switch. Just absolutely perfect. So
yeah, that looks really cool.
Yeah. All right, so I guess now we can jump into some things we've been playing.
Yeah, to what you've been playing. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's funny because I haven't really played anything it's been like a month since we recorded, and I haven't really played anything. But then in the past week, two of my favorite video games of all time got amazing Switch ports. And so now I've just been playing my Switch nonstop since like Wednesday. Like I'm just been watching movies and TV shows and playing Switch just every free moment I have. So first up, Phantasy Star, the original 8-bit RPG that started it all, was released on the Japanese eShop as part of the Sega Ages series. The Sega Ages are the Switch exclusive Sega ports done by M2. And, if you're familiar with M2's work on like the Sega 3D classics on 3DS, you have a pretty good idea of what to expect with these Sega Ages ports. And they are absolutely phenomenal. With tons of options, and the Phantasy Star one does not disappoint. Phantasy Star was originally released on the Master System in the West, or the Sega Mark III in Japan, and it is my favorite 8-bit RPG. I like it better than all the Final Fantasies and all the Dragon Quest games on the NES, on the Famicom. this game just clicked so much with me when I didn't play it until way after the fact. It wasn't until I was like actually working at a video game store and we got in a master system and a copy of the game, and I took it home and played through it. But yeah, and then I've just been in love with the game ever since. I bought the Game Boy Advance version, which had which was pretty good, except for like I think it had like one like total game breaking bug in it, which sucked, but it didn't affect me. But I played through it again on Game Boy Advance. I played through it on the Japanese PS2 Phantasy Star collection. So I've played through the game on 3 different platforms going into this, and I can easily say the Switch version is the absolute best way to play this game. It incorporates for the first time dungeon mapping. So these are in Phantasy Star, kind of the big roadblock to playing this game in modern times is the dungeons, which were insanely impressive at the time in the late 80s on an 8-bit system, but they're first-person 3D dungeons, and there are not really any landmarks in the dungeons. It's all just like the same colored walls throughout, so it's super easy to get lost in them. And there are like pitfalls that drop you to a lower floor. There's invisible walls, like think like second quest of Legend of Zelda, where you have to just like push up against the wall and go through there. So yeah, this is a game that people used to use chart paper to map the dungeons, and now in this Sega Ages version on Switch, for the first time ever, there is auto dungeon mapping. That it's optional. You can hide it if you don't want it, but basically the layout puts the game in takes up like 75% of the Switch screen in 4:3, and then you have like your party members and their hit points on like the right or left side. You can swap this, and then below that you have the auto mapping dungeons. So it's basically exactly how it works in like Etrian Odyssey, the auto mapping in that game, and it totally it does all the mapping itself, and it shows you where there are pitfalls. It shows you where there are invisible walls, which makes the game like so much more playable now. And again, if you don't want that and you just want the original experience, you can turn it all off and it's totally fine. So that's huge. That's such a huge addition to this game, and I think it really does make the game just that goes such a long way in like modernizing it and being a game that like I can now recommend without like 80 caveats.
Yeah, because I'm interested in it, and I think I will get it when it comes out in North America, because it's not released in North America yet, right?
No.
I bet it's going to be this week, but I know that there was a date of like the 15th or something floating around, but then somebody from Sega was like, that's not accurate, I think, but didn't say when it was coming. So I think it's going to be this week.
I've heard 15th again, November 15th.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, in any case, it's going to be out in the next, it sounds like it'll be out 2 weeks from now, but week and a half, whatever. I'm excited about it, or at least interested in it. But without the dungeon mapping, I'd be like, no way. Because I played Etrian Odyssey 4, which has all the dungeon mapping and stuff. And even that, which is like a modern game, I was like, this is a little confusing. And, I liked it, but it wasn't, I didn't love, the whole first person dungeon crawling thing. So, I think without a map, it'd be like no go. And I think you mentioned this, but you can turn that like view and mode off when you're not in the dungeons, right? So like if you, so you can you just have to go back to the menu and kind of say like turn that off or whatever, right? You don't have like a one button thing where you can turn that view off, but
no, because there's a ton of visual options, as there always are with these M2 ports. Whether you want scan lines or smoothing or dot by dot or full screen or like all of that stuff. So
yeah,
but it's easy just to hop in the menu and mess with that. I just keep it on all the time. Even when I'm in the world.
How much time do you spend outside of the dungeons?
Probably 30 or 30% of the game is outside of the dungeons, in towns in the overworld. You spend a lot of time in dungeons. That's kind of the meat of the game.
Right. Well, okay. So, I mean, you'd want that on most of the time anyway, right?
Yeah. And it's totally fine because like no judgment, but like you should be playing this game in 4x3 anyways. So whether the 4x3 screen is centered or off to the side, like I don't think that's a huge difference. Like it doesn't really matter. But the options are there. You just do you and figure out what works best for you, I'd say. Also, there are some other actually another thing that is first time. So you can switch between the Japanese or the international versions of the game. So you can play the game in the original Japanese, or you can play it in English. Unfortunately, it does not seem like they updated the English translation. So you're getting the 1989 Master System translation. So it's a little, it's a 1989 Master System translation. So it's not like the greatest and most clear text some of the time, but it totally works. It's fine. But you can switch versions, and you can actually play for the first time in an official release. You can play the English Master System version with the FM synth from the Japanese Mark III version if you had the FM sound adapter. So basically, it's kind of like think like Castlevania 3, the Famicom version versus the NES version. How like the Famicom version had that extra sound chip, and so it's like a way more like textured sound. Basically, on Master System, they did the same sort of thing, but it was a separate device to get that extra bit of sound, the FM synth sound. So I'm not even sure like how the peripheral actually worked, or like where it plugged into the Master System. But if you if you played Phantasy Star, you'd get like that like extra like layered textured sound. But that was never released in the North American version in North America. So you had like a more traditional sort of score to the game in North America, which I still think is great. Like I love the original music, but it is really cool to be able to just turn on that FM synth and play it that way. So
cool.
That's a first.
Is there an option to like listen to the soundtrack just like within the menus or anything, or no? I don't think I saw that with Sonic.
I don't actually know. I haven't actually checked that.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised. They also added a bestiary of like the enemies in the game, so you can go like check in on them. Another super cool thing that was added, again, I believe this is the first time this has happened in a original Phantasy Star port. You can pause the game and look at item list, weapon list, armor list, and it tells you what each item does, which is great because in the context of the game, it does not tell you, and you just like buy stuff and like, okay, I wonder what this does. And some of these items like you do need to progress in the story. Some of the items you purchase from shopkeepers, so that's super helpful. Also, it gives you weapon and armor charts that tell you the stats of the armor and weapons and who can equip them in the parties, because that's also not explicit in the context of the game. So that's really helpful even for someone who's like myself, who's played through the game a bunch of times, to like know how I'm spending my money. So that's really cool. And then two other features that these features also appeared in the Japanese PS2 Phantasy Star collection, but a lower difficulty option, which essentially gives you more money and experience from battles, so you don't have to grind as much. And you level up quicker, and you get more money, so you can buy gear for your party quicker, which is super awesome because, like, this is an era of extremely grindy RPGs. So, and Phantasy Star was no exception. And you definitely do need to be well equipped and well leveled before you enter some of the later dungeons, because they're pretty deep dungeons. And then finally, a faster walking speed by default, which is very, very nice, because in the original game, Alice is not the fastest, character walking around in the overworld and in the dungeons. So, so that's really cool. I guess like the final plug I have and why I love this game so much is the aesthetic is basically just perfect to me, because it's a Star Wars inspired JRPG. So it's, a combination of sci-fi and fantasy, and it, uses a lot of Star Wars inspired imagery, and even like the plot to a degree. But it also has like tons of like JRPG weirdness, and a really cool female protagonist. So this is absolutely one of my favorite games of all time. It's one that I've always had to kind of like, I've always wanted more people to play and experience, because I think a lot of people would really, really enjoy the game. But there's always so many caveats. Like, for a while it's like, well, you can buy it on the Wii Virtual Console, but you're going to want to use a guide. You're going to want to use, you might have to do some mapping. It's slow. It's super grindy, but like the game's really cool. But now, like, or like, oh, you should like buy this Japanese PS2 collection, but you have to set up a Japanese PSN account and to buy it on like the PSN store, and you have to order currency from a company and like whatever. But now this is like, when this drops, presumably on November 15th, like I can just basically tell everyone, like, spend the $8 or $9 or whatever it is, and buy this game, because it's really, really cool, and it's definitely one of my favorites.
Cool. Yeah, you have sold me. You have definitely sold me. I'm excited to check it out, because I've never played it before. How long do you think it takes to play?
I think originally, I would say probably 40 hours.
Oh, wow.
But now with, sped up walking speed, auto mapping, and then the
lower difficulty option.
Lower difficulty, extra experience and money. probably 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a number. I like that number. I like 10. 10 sounds
Yeah.
good. 40,
10.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't
No, I
know.
think it
10
like
sounds good.
the combination of all those factors really, really reduces it. You will most likely probably have to pop in to a guide here and there
Yeah.
just to know like where to go next. But it's nothing, it's in no way as egregious as it used to be with the game.
Gotcha.
Where you had to have like 5 guides open at once, essentially.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, but you've also been playing a Sega Ages game.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll just talk about it very briefly because we've kind of mentioned the menu systems and all that stuff. But I played Sonic the Hedgehog Sega Ages, and I bought it because I was excited about checking out the Sega Ages series, and that was one of the first. Well, there's only 2 games right now on the North American eShop, right? And then
Yeah,
Phantasy Star will be the next one.
Sonic and Thunder Force 4.
Yeah, which I thought about getting that too, but and maybe I will, but I haven't yet.
It's
so
really good.
yeah. But I just, I'm excited about the concept of Sega Ages and wanted to check out a game. And I mean, I probably would have bought it anyways, just because I really like this game and all the Genesis Sonic games. But anyway, yeah, it's great. I'm not going to talk about the game because we've all played it, and it's I've definitely the millionth time that I've played it. But but the Sega Ages treatment is great. You can play the Japanese version or the international version. You can add the spin dash to the game, which wasn't in the game originally, or you don't have to. You can do a ring keep mode where you lose fewer rings, or you can do the original mode. There are leaderboards for like a time attack mode or just like a speed run of certain levels or something. I think I haven't really gotten into that too much, but I know that that's in there as well. A level select, which is cool. It's got kind of mostly everything you would want. And I mean, I think the most important thing is that obviously the emulation is great from M2. And I really appreciate the fact that the presentation is awesome as well. Like, I wouldn't say you spend a lot of time in menus, but the menu is pretty prominent at the beginning, and it looks really nice. And I actually even played most of it, maybe all of it, with the what do you call it? The not the overlay, but the kind of like wallpaper or whatever. Since it's a 4:3 game on a 16:9 screen, I actually use the default one, which has that like Japanese Mega Drive like aesthetic to it, the white and
so good.
I normally hate those things like wallpapers or whatever in games. I never play with that stuff on. I always just like have that black screen.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is so cool that I'm just gonna leave it on. I just liked it that much. So yeah, it's great. Sega Ages is it's really awesome. The only complaint I have, I think, and it's not really a big one at all, but the manual for the game is fine, I guess. Like it's kind of annoying to like, navigate through, which it shouldn't be on a touchscreen, I feel like, but it's kind of annoying to like flip through the pages. And I don't really need to use the manual, especially for Sonic the Hedgehog. But it's weird to me that they don't just have like high quality scans of the original menus, or not menus, but manuals for the games. That seems like a weird thing that, a company like M2 would, a weird thing for them to leave out. So I would love to be able to, I'm not going to complain that they don't have, concept art and like advertisements and the whole like Mega Man Legacy Collection type, Street Fighter Anniversary Collection type thing. Like, I don't think that it should be expected that, every Sega Ages game is going to collect all that stuff and put it in there. But like a scan of the manual is not a big deal. Like it's just weird that that's not in there, because I would love to just see like the box art and the manual and stuff,
Yeah, I like that stuff. I like that stuff too.
It's a weird thing to leave out, but other than that, it's pretty great. And it does open with a with a Sega Ages sort of like trailer thing, and that's cool too. It makes it feel pretty special, and part of something cool. So very happy with it overall. It's a great port, obviously. So looking forward to Sonic 2, looking forward to other great Sega games, and looking forward to, it sounds like, Dreamcast games coming in Sega Ages as well.
God, be still my heart.
Yeah, I don't know if that's 100% confirmed,
no,
but it's all but, right?
Basically the way I understood that is they were like, we think we have the tech down that we could probably do this. But that's, I mean, thinking about like how much like TLC M2 puts into like 16-bit games, like I would not expect any Dreamcast games for years.
Yeah.
Because
well,
that's got to be such like their approach is going to have to totally change.
But they have ported other, like they do a lot of ports that are not part of these like collections and stuff, right? And I mean, I don't know, I don't have a list of what they've ported and stuff. I know it's not like they only go back and do these outrun conversions where they're sitting there holding microphones up to arcade cabinets and stuff, right? Like they've done more straightforward that I'm sure are still super high quality of like later generation systems and stuff. So
mess when it started. But yeah, they I guess they have done some 3D games because they did like in that there's like Virtua Fighter 2 and Virtual On and stuff. So they have, I guess they have dabbled in 3D games as well. But
yeah, I don't know if it's like they just keep getting asked about it. Sega just keeps getting asked about it, or if they're bringing it up. But I keep getting I'm getting the impression like they keep mentioning Dreamcast. You know, like, well, why are you doing that if that's not the intention, is to bring Dreamcast games? So.
Well, I mean, I feel like you should always just mention Dreamcast.
I guess that's a good maxim to live by. Sure.
Yeah, just in any conversation.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Last thing that I have been playing, and this is what I've been playing the most. It's a game that if you are familiar with this podcast, I think I have been asking for on a Nintendo system since we started this podcast. And now I finally have Diablo 3 on a Nintendo system, a game that I have put probably over 1,000 hours into across platforms. It was actually around the time I met Lindsay, my wife. There was about a probably 2 to 3 month period where pretty much the only video game I played was Diablo 3 when it hit PC originally. This game I adore, and I think like pretty much everyone kind of knows what it is at this point. But it's been really exciting seeing some like friends who are Nintendo fans and who have never really played the game jumping in and really digging it. I know Neil from Nintendo World Report, it's his first Diablo, and he's having a blast with it. And then our good friend and NFC co-founder Kevin has it's also his first Diablo game, and he's been really impressed and really enjoying it as well. So basically, I'm just going to talk about not so much what the game is, but what the Switch version is. And the Switch version is really good. For one, just the fact that you can now have portable Diablo 3 is huge. This is one of those like total, like, some games like you're like, oh, cool, like that's on Switch, awesome. And then some games it's like, wow, this format changes everything. As we like to say on this podcast, the medium is the message. And
we say that so often here. Yes,
we do. And I think, Breath of the Wild was a game that was not just like an amazing game, but it was also an amazing game that you could play anywhere. And like the scope and the feeling of it was just like unprecedented for portable gaming. I think, Diablo 3 in I think Skyrim was another one of those, and I think Diablo 3 is as well. Like, this is one of those games that you we used to be so tethered to a PC or console because you just could not pack all of this into a portable game, just because like there's just it's basically an infinite game, but it's also like an incredibly polished action RPG. But there are so many systems, so many modes. There's like some online elements, like all of this stuff happening. Like, it was just never something you could really get on a portable before. But now it's here, it's on Switch, and this is also, it's a huge game coming to a Nintendo system from a Western publisher and developer, and traditionally one that hasn't worked with Nintendo for like almost 2 decades. And it is here with zero compromises. There's always that, there's always that asterisk when it comes to these kind of games on Nintendo platforms, like the big AAA Western developed games. Like, they're like, okay, we're giving you this new Batman game on Wii U, but it's going to be missing these things. Or there's always some sort of compromises when it comes to this stuff. And this is a game without compromises, and I'm so happy about it. It is a rock solid 60 frames per second, even in the most busy sections of the game. And there are times where there can be a lot happening on screen, and the game just stays like locked at 60 frames per second in both. I've played it both portable, and I've also had to play it in docked mode because I ran my Switch battery all the way down playing it in portable mode. And so that's it's just incredible. Blizzard has typically always been great about having kind of those timeless, scalable art styles. People still play World of Warcraft, and that game is almost coming up on like it's like 15, I guess, years old almost, and it people still play it. It still looks good because of the art style they went for, which is also like kind of a Nintendo trait as well. Just nailing the art style so that it's scalable. And the last platform I was playing Diablo 3 on was in Xbox One X on a 4K TV, which looks really nice, and you can see all the details and stuff. But I didn't feel like I was losing a lot going and playing it on Switch. Like, if you look a bit closer, you see like you see where it's not as high of resolution, but instead of it just like looking kind of like crummy or blurry or anything, it just the art style still holds up, and it just it almost just looks like it has like a matte finish across it rather than like a really compromised visual style. So I'm happy with the way it looks. I'm extremely happy with the way it runs. I think that's really important to avoid slowdown in a game like this, especially considering the high stakes of like playing in like hardcore mode and stuff. But then last, like, it's everything is there from the start. You're getting all the story content, all the all the adventure mode and endless mode content, all like the items, everything is just there. And it is on, it's patched, and it is there's parity between this and the other console versions. And it also opens with seasons, which is the primary online mode, at least to me, where you have a time frame to you know do a bunch of challenges to earn some exclusive items and armor sets and stuff. And there's also online leaderboards, so you can see where you stand against your friends and stuff, accomplishing all of this stuff. And that's there on day one, complete parity with the other consoles. And then there's also some Nintendo exclusive stuff. You've got right off the bat, you have a few just like little items, some Zelda inspired items that were like shown in the direct or the original trailer and everything. And then you also have the amiibo support, where you can once a day scan an amiibo when you're out in the wild, and you'll have some totally random enemies come and attack you. Is what the experience has been for me so far. I've only done it 2 days, but that's just like an additional feature. And then finally, there is an exclusive Diablo amiibo coming, a loot goblin, and that is going to be coming sometime. I actually don't even know when the date is, but yeah, another kind of cool thing. So I'm really, really, really happy with this port. Blizzard is right up there with Nintendo and Sega as my favorite developers of all time. Diablo is one of my favorite series, and Diablo 3 is one of my favorite games. And to finally get it on this platform that I love, that's so versatile, with zero compromises, and actually, arguably some advantages over playing it on other platforms. It's so exciting, and it makes me really, really happy.
That is very cool. Yeah. It's awesome to hear that it's like a great version of the game. It's not probably a game I'm going to play, but
no, probably not.
No, but it's really cool to know, that like you said, we're getting these games that are, just as good, or at least quality wise, they're on a similar level to the other systems. And to be able to play them portably is awesome. Like, as just a huge Nintendo fan, it's cool to just be like, oh man, these great games are coming to Nintendo. And Nintendo has some of these games that they haven't been able to have before. But like you said, the other component of that is like, now people can play like some of these games that they love, whenever, wherever. And that's really awesome too. So
yeah,
very good news.
Good stuff. Yay, Switch.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Sorry, I don't know how much noise that made, but
it was a lot of noise.
Yeah, my smallest cat just went buck on my microphone here. So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like we should wrap up so you can go pet your cat and give some attention
to Pet Yoshi. We could call him Yoshi, because that's his name. Yep.
Oh, so, Yoshi's got a cute face.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yoshi has a very cute face.
Yes, but he doesn't like to sit still, though.
No, he looks like a troublemaker.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He looks curious.
He's a very friendly troublemaker, though.
Yeah, seems like a good one.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you get to Yoshi. We'll wrap up here. NintendoFunClubPodcast.com. Cool. Check it out. Again, like we kind of mentioned last episode, the show is the show will go on. It will just go on at semi-regular intervals.
Sporadic rate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll just drop one when we feel like it.
But going into the holiday season, there's a couple big games I feel like we'll want to talk about. So we'll be back, probably talking about Pokemon and Smash Brothers, right?
Yeah, Twinkle Star Sprites.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of cool stuff coming. Neo Geo or SNK Anniversary Collection will be one that we definitely will have to record about. And who knows what other news, announcements, stuff. Got some Resident Evil games coming to Switch next year.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting stuff. Basically, like pretty much everything I love is on Switch, and it's great. It's wonderful. I love the Switch. Cool. So yeah, NintendoFunClubPodcast.com. Subscribe or whatever on iTunes. You can find me on Twitter at BrawnDwarf, BraWndWarf.
And I'm on Twitter at Arcade Ghost.
Cool. Well, we will be back in who knows how long. And until next time, goodbye.
See ya.